Yeah, I'm gonna thumb up my own. Sounded dirty for a second. I'm gonna give my own stream a thumbs up. If anybody gets in here, if anybody is in here, what up, brother? Let me know how the sound is. I kind of screwed around with a few things since last stream. Sound being one of them. I've got some music, some Warhammer-ish music streaming in the background. I also have a new setup, so the lighting should hopefully be a little bit better. Do a quick little show off. What I finished last night. You've seen it. I've shown pictures, but I'll put it on the stream. It's not finished. I have to finish up the base here. And again, the stream camera is way, way off. So give me a second here. And for those of you with OCD, I apologize about the placement of the palette. Alright. Oh, it's so far off. Okay, let me go back to this so I can just actually see what I'm doing. So there you go. This guy. All painted, all done up. I could probably do... Let's see if I can move this, get a little more light in here. Give me a second. I definitely can get more light. Or not. The problem is that the camera is obviously blocking all the light. Anyway. Really? Okay, that's the best it's going to do. Until I figure out how to put a light on this camera. Anyway, like I was saying, this guy all, I think all done. I really like how he turned out. Obviously, the bad lighting. You've seen the pictures on the Discord. I like the base. I want to add some paint to the end here. And then maybe some edge highlights? I don't know. I don't have any on here right now. But it looks good. So that's what I have been working on. I can't see the chat right now, so if there's questions, I'll try to get back to them when I get back to the YouTube actual channel. And then this is what I was working on a little bit earlier today. My Termagant. They are looking good. I think they're looking good. I'm probably going to dry brush the skin. Just get it a little white highlight on top of it. But the pink really popped. That was a good idea, Stig. That was a great suggestion. I like the pink tongue. I like the way this mouth worked out. I don't know if you can really see it. But this mouth, where you can actually get some teeth. Versus, like, this guy, the first... I have, like, 5 of these guys that I have to redo now because these teeth... I tried to paint the mouths black to get, like, some darkness in there, and it looks horrible. It looks so bad. So, with this, I just went with some Nuln oil in the mouth. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. So, looks good to me. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm getting summoned here. Hold on. I'll be right back. Do I know how to? My craft desk, not nearly big enough. I'm going to mute the mic and just leave you with audio for a little bit. Hopefully whoever made this doesn't sue me, because I'm just like streaming music off YouTube. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot that I could just mute straight from my mic. Alright. I gotta figure out a way to do... There used to be a way for me to show my chat in IBS, and I don't know why I can't do that anymore. I gotta figure that out. Thanks, Steak. Thanks. I actually, yeah, I really do like this guy. I think he looks great. The Nuln oil is how I will do Termy Mouths from now on, because it's not even close. And like I said, I want to do like a nice dry brush in Rathbone. Just to highlight the skin a little bit, just to highlight the edges. I think most of my Tyranids are a little too pink. But... So then with these guys now, I just need to fix all the guys whose mouths I painted black. I have to fix all of those. There's got to be a way I can do this. Give me 2 seconds. There's a way I can do this. I know there's a way I can do this. Aha! Nope. Okay. Alright. Now we're good. Now we can just continue. So these guys now I have to fix. It shouldn't be too hard. I'll just... Basically, it was just primer in there anyway. I'll just cover it with some Wraithbone White. Do my Nuln oil and everything will be fine. I don't know what I want to do today though. So we can work on those. I'm not going to airbrush on the stream. I'll probably never do that just because my airbrush pump pretty loud. That would negate anything I do. I do, it's my makeshift wet palette. I'll never go back. I'll never, ever, ever go back. They just make such a difference. Oh, here, I'll throw the good Terminid. I'll throw a picture into Discord right now. But yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with them. Holy crap, I'm just seeing the size difference between, like, one of your minis and the chain sword for your walker. Okay. So, we could spend the stream fixing my Tyranids, Termagants, which is fine by me. I've got no problem with that. Or we can open up this bad boy and see what's in it. We can build stuff, but I'm not going to prime anything. If we build, I won't paint. I don't think you would register getting hit by that chainsword. I think it would be like immediate death. I want to find a better place for my mic. Oh, I have a much better place for it. This might be a little loud or annoying, but give me 2 seconds. Okay, hopefully that works. Hopefully that sounds better. I just wanted it right in front of me because it was like off to my right. I was having to do crazy contorting things to make sure that I was speaking to the mic. What do you figure, Stig? Should we paint and fix some Tyranids? Or should we open up these orcs? Now, because this is just the Runthard and Gretchen box, I know that most of the Gretchen, because they're so small, are already put together. but run third we can put together, and I think there's a couple like accessories and stuff that can go on the Gretchen. And then I've got these guys. So the starter pack that I've got these guys left. They're all nice and primed. I am actually really excited to paint this guy just because he's got the sword going. He's got a gun, a sword. He's got 2 guns. So he's got the flamer, the sword, and then the bolter. And then this is the only guy that isn't wearing a helmet. So he's the first guy I'll paint like flesh on. But I already have Islev flesh. So that should work out pretty well. Well, I mean, the orcs, I wouldn't be painting them tonight anyway, because I'd still have to prime them. I would just be putting them together. But, like, the Tyranids, the Termagants, like, look at how many of them I have to work through. That's not even counting the one that is semi-finished. And then this guy that isn't even primed. And I don't know, again, my cat stole this one, so I just found him recently. But I've got no problem finishing the Tyranids. And that actually works because I already have pink on my wet palette. So I can do some of the highlighting. So you were talking about painting... Let's see if I get just like a little pointer in here. You were talking about painting these little things pink. And when I did it first, I was like, it didn't really matter. It didn't really change much. But the more I look at them, the more that really pops. It looks good. Especially on this side, I think. Now, the ones on the gun, I might actually change to like a yellowish green. And then there's a little jewel or a little eye in there, like a little energy feed. I might change all of that to like a greenish yellow. For like an energy discharge or something. And then I'll just really glow up the end. That's my thought process for that. I don't know what I'm going to do with the bases yet, though. Except that I know that I have some red grass that I'm going to use for them. Reichland Flesh Shade. Yeah, I mean, my painting is definitely gonna... My paint collection is gonna grow a ton. Oh, let's work on these guys. The Ripper Swarm, is the bane of my existence right now. Again, tried to paint the mouse black, did not work out. That's the first thing we'll do. We'll just go through all of them and we'll just get some Wrathbone in there in all of the mouths and try to fix those. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a plan. So, shake it up a little bit. So I was watching a video today on, because I was wondering about like clear coats and lacquers, just like a final coat to protect the paint job that you've already done. And one of the videos I watched, a guy who just like specializes in airbrushing, very specifically said like army painter, their airbrush stuff is the best he's ever used. He doesn't have to dilute it. He doesn't have to do anything with it. So I'll probably try some army painter. My hobby shop sells all of them. Citadel Vallejo Army Painter. I assume every good hobby shop does. Okay, I'll try to keep from moving my magnifying glass too much. And there's too many objects on screen, so my camera's going nuts. So, your army, with the exception of decals, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, is done now, yeah? So what's like your next project? I plan to do a lot more airbrush. I mean, practice, I guess, for me is basically what it is. In the next little while here. Again, I can't do it on stream. I mean, I could, but I just have to mute everything I was doing. Okay, let me see. Also, and I'll say this, the first stream you were here and I was complaining non-stop about my these cheap-ass brushes that I bought from Michael's, which is a craft shop here in Canada. These are horrible. They're horrible. Essentially what I use them now is for paint movers, and then I have one very specific one that I use for null oil. But I bought these instead, and they make all the difference. All the difference as far as like precision when I need precision work. I don't know if I need to thin this. Alright. You guys might have to be a little patient here because it's really going to be a lot of nothing for you to see. For like most of this stream. Oh, it's so gross how badly I fucked this up. I mean, like, I get I'm a beginner, but still. But I guess the good part of it is that now I get the practice of fixing my mistake. Oh, did you get your glasses? Oh, it's a world of difference. It's so crazy. So for most of my painting, I don't use like those actual glasses. I have a lamp with a giant magnifying glass on it. So that's what I use. And for the most part, it's good enough. When I get down to the really, really tiny things that I need to fix, then those glasses, when you can get to like a 3, 4, 5 time magnification on them. I'm just going to do like one coat right now of the mouse, and then I'll kind of let it dry a little bit and do a second coat, and that should be more than enough. The way this model is put together, There are spots in it that are so hard to get to. Like, I don't know if you can see it in here. Probably not. Inside here? No, you can't see it. It's too dark. You can kind of see it right there. In the middle of the second and third one, the two guys in the middle, where you see where there's that white splash, that's because I cannot get a brush in there. And it's not like these guys... Oh, actually, you know what? Now I think about it. I wonder if I can push him out. Did I? Hold on here. Hold on. We're going to experiment with something here. I don't think I glued these guys in. I need something small. Oh, hey, this might work. This is not how you should use your shearing scissors, by the way. Oh, shit. Well, it's in there tight enough that I'm not going to be able to move it. Well, that's actually broke. That didn't do what I wanted it to. But the good news is now I can paint what I want. And that's entirely fixable, so I'm not too worried about it. I actually prefer this. I'm not going to lie. Considering how close they were, I did pretty good on this. On those inside details. Pretty impressed. I wonder if I switch this out a little bit. That's a little better light. I really want to push this out though. I mean, that's okay. That it serves the purpose. It did what I needed it to do. Now we can work on it this way. We're fine. I'll paint it all, and then I'll glue that guy together at the end. And none of us will be any of the wiser for it. Okay, that's good. So, Steak, how long have you been into Warhammer? I don't remember if we talked about that last time. Alright, we'll go through with the second coat here. My only issue is that every time I do this, I fill in those teeth a little more, which means I don't know if I'm going to get any definition when I do finally shade it all out. I'm actually so excited to get my Exorcist here. I shouldn't have bought it. I don't have the money. It was late. It was New Year's Eve, and I didn't do anything on New Year's. I sat at home by myself, trying to fight off a migraine because I suffer from migraines. And as I do often, I'm like a little retail therapy. Plus, all of the websites that I had been going to over and over again, everyone started to slowly sell out of them. So I was like, if I'm going to buy this, I need to do it now. About a month or two, I suppose. I liked D&D because I like throwing math rocks and I started a D&D session with my band. The GM, drummer's friend, kept nerfing me, so I gave them a sack. Then it was like, but I still want to throw math rocks and kill shit, so I decided to play 40k. Nice! Fair enough. I assume the crossover between 40k and D&D is pretty significant. Although one is definitely far more tactical, and the other is... I want to say imaginative? Story-based? Narrative? Narrative. That sounds about right. Right? One is a tactical game, the other is a narrative game. Oh! What is Necromundo? It is in the Warhammer 40k universe, is it not? There you go. Come on, camera. There we go. There you go. Mouths are pretty much fixed. Now I can go back and redo them all over again. But this time the right way. I can also give all these guys a null oil bath. Well, I've got them out. I should probably finish up the blacks on these. Oh, I didn't finish this one. I have to get better at figuring out how much paint I need on my palette. I've got a buddy who's big into D&D, and I keep talking about Warhammer, and he won't listen to me. Which I get. Especially if, like, I randomly decided... I didn't, like, decide to get into Warhammer. I don't even remember what I was really doing. And then Warhammer just kind of showed up in my YouTube feed. And then... yeah, I don't remember, like, the thing that kind of spontaneously over the last, say, 6 or 7 weeks made me say, I'm getting into Warhammer. I think I had heard that, like, a new edition had come out, and I was like, this sounds like a good time to jump in. Yeah, I would think for the most part. And I know you can get, like, tabletop stuff or D&D and everything. Okay, what do we want to do here now? Oh, we're just fixing mouths. You know what? Well, I have this paint out. And a nice general dollop of it. I might as well just continue to do all the ones that I screwed up yesterday. So anyway, yes. Known about Warhammer forever, kind of ignored it. Kind of thought it was really edgelord and try hard, so I was like, I don't care. I won't ever care. And then over the last, I don't know, 6-7 weeks, I really started to appreciate it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I get bored of shit so easily and so quickly that I always need something else on the go. So I'm like, no, I'm into Warhammer now. Started watching a shit ton of videos. It was mostly the model building that kind of got me. As you can see, as I paint models on YouTube. And then I started paying attention to the lore. And I was like, you know what? Even though this is silly, some of it's not nearly as bad or as cheesy as I thought it was. Some of it is. Some of it absolutely is. And I kind of appreciate that now about it. I appreciate that there's a lot of comedy in it as well for such a grim, dark universe. You know what? The weird thing is, now that I'm looking at it, this mistake might actually make it look better in the long run. That's so funny. And then I'm sure, like, pretty much everybody else who's like, I'm going to get into Warhammer. You go out to a store and you see the price of the models. Now, I at first was like, oh, that doesn't seem so bad. I guess. Like, I don't have a frame of reference. That doesn't seem so bad. So I go out and I buy this starter kit, whatever, the Space Marines versus Tyranid starter kit. And I open it up and I had no idea the minis were actually this small. So I was like, you know what? That kind of was a lot of money for what I got. But then if you really break it down to, like, the amount of time... Oh, give me 2 seconds. I've got an alarm going off somewhere. Sorry, my watch has an alarm on it. It's something to do with work. Yeah. I imagine it's like a lot of people who get into the hobby, the newbies, the sticker shock for Warhammer is fucking real. And the economy right now, not great. Really not great. Anywhere. So I had to kind of change my frame of reference. The way I look at it, what was the price of this kit? $60, I want to say. Now, granted, they give you a steep discount on this kit because they're trying to get you into Warhammer. Everything else, like when you're looking at singular figures and they're $90, or like your Walker army where it's like $300 pieces, that shit's a little insane. That being said, I won't think twice on spending $100 on a video game, because it's hours and hours and hours of entertainment, right? So that's how I had to change my perception with Warhammer, because it's essentially the same thing now, in my mind. Like, look at the amount of hours I have already spent just building models, painting models. That's already worth the price of admission. I haven't even played a game yet. So, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to catch up with the chat. I know I've been yammering. D&D creator originally made a war game rather than a tabletop RPG. Really? The lore videos on YouTube become very repetitive, so you end up reading. Yes, that's true. That's very true. But there are some really good lore videos out there. And then today, I haven't watched it yet, but I found a fan-made movie. It's like an hour and a half. Hellcast? Hellgeist? Hell something? Modeling kits have never been cheap. That's true. One day on this channel, I'm going to do a modeling kit that has nothing to do with Warhammer that I've been sitting on for years. And I will be so very excited to do it. I'll go get it. It's right over here, actually. I can show it to you. And the thing is, the Warhammer minis... Actually, this is such a bad job, you guys. I'm so glad you're not actually here in person to see how bad this is. The irony is that the Warhammer minis are going to make me so much better when I finally get around to this other one. Okay, I'll go grab it. Give me 2 seconds. I'll move my magnifying glass. You have no idea how excited I am about that. The NX-01 Enterprise from Star Trek Enterprise. I am one of the very few fans of that show. I loved it before it was cool to love it. And the NX-01 is actually my favorite Enterprise model. Like ship design, I think it looks fantastic. I think it's just really beautiful. I mean, that's true too. As long as you can justify the cost of what you're buying. I will say with the Exorcist yesterday, I could not justify that cost. But in my brain, it's like you either spend the money you don't have now, or it sells out and you never get it. Which I'm sure is not true, but being new to the hobby, I have no idea what the frequency of reprints, reeditions there are. I know that a lot of the fan base really not fans of Game Workshop, which is why there seems to be this like digital printing revolution where it's like, screw it, we'll just make our own stuff. And don't think I'm not already looking into that. Of course I am. But like you, I just justified in like, well, I can spend this money on this, or I can spend this money on X or Y. What I should be doing is spending this money on dating, but I don't fucking do that either, so. Yeah. Yeah, this is really funny. I actually think this is going to make it even better. I think this mistake is going to be a net positive. We'll do this. I still have some pink on the wet palette. So we'll go through and we'll do those small pink details on all the other ones. I can probably get this guy. I missed this part of the gun. So well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I might actually change the guns on all the artwork. The carapaces on the guns are black. I wanted the guns to look a lot more like they were part of the Tyranid body. So I went with the exact same color scheme. But the more I look at the box, the more I'm like, they kind of look better black. Well, the thing is with the 3D printing, I don't think I would ever print, because I know there are just like pirated models of GW stuff out there. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you can 3D print a gun if you want. So there's definitely going to be some contraband Space Marines out there. That being said, I'm really enjoying the painting part of this hobby. So I could totally see just printing out minis that you'd want as like household decorations. And that's something I just kind of discovered. As I had no idea Warhammer was a UK thing. Like none. So not that it necessarily affects anything about it for me. It's just yet another British thing that I'm into. There are times when I'm not like streaming that I'm painting Warhammer and watching Doctor Who. And I'm just like, all I need is a cup of tea and a citizenship card, and I might as well fucking immigrate. Although technically, we are a colony. We still, well, I guess the king now. I'm going to say we still have the queen on everything, on all our currency and everything, but yeah, now we're, I guess, switching over to King Charles. Okay. I gotta concentrate on this one. This is a tight spot here. I think that's it. I think that's it. Other than, again, the two guys I still have to do the flesh for, or like a, yeah, the flesh for, and then the one guy that I still have to basically start from scratch. But actually, you know what's going to be really interesting? It's kind of interesting, or it's kind of a good opportunity, I guess, that my cat stole this guy. Because I'm going to save him to the very last, and I'm going to do him in a single setting. And that's going to be a really great benchmark from like where I started to where I ended. The guy I started, the one I showed you at the beginning of the show, this guy right here. That's the first one I did. That's the first one I've worked on. The first one I started on. This is most of my progress. In slow intervals, because like I didn't do them all at the same time. I did little bits here, little bits there. Took a break, did the Space Marine. But it's going to be really interesting to see this guy and this guy right next to each other when they're both finished. See if I learned a lot or if there's like a significant difference. That'll be fun. Okay, so do you prefer if my palette is in camera? Let me know. It doesn't matter to me, I'll be completely honest. Some people like that. Oh, I've got to fix this guy too. Here, I'll do that. Just the little bits I'm using. Okay, so I'll clean and then switch out brushes, and we'll do tongues, and then whatever those little vein event things are. Almost time to give these brushes an isopropyl bath. Better off staying Canadian. I mean, it's pretty rough everywhere. It's not like, I like Canada. I love living in Canada. I like being Canadian, but it's getting pretty rough. But again, it's getting pretty rough everywhere. Okay. Oh, wait. Got my paintbrush. In 2 seconds, I'm going to order something to eat. And then when that gets here, I'll kill the stream. And then I may start up again later tonight, or... I actually really enjoy the painting method, and doing it on stream is pretty easy. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta. Western Prairies, one Western Prairies, one province away from the West Coast. You probably see us in the news, international news every year as we're burning down. Okay. Okie dokie. Very much the home of the Oilers. All right. So I've got some of this on my palette already. I'll check to see if it hasn't dried out too much. It shouldn't have. Nope. It's fucking Dude, wet palette. Honestly, it's a game changer. But pink horror is what we're using for the little skin vents and the tongue. I feel like I'm missing something here. From Edmonton? No, I don't think it was Weidman. I know George St. Pierre did train here quite a bit. I don't know, has there been a UFC fighter from... There was an infamous wrestler from Edmonton. Oh, so apparently I've already done the vents on here, so we'll just do the tongue. I can't even remember what that wrestler's name is now. He went to my high school. I say infamous. Jesus, why am I having so much trouble with that word? Because he has been essentially erased from WWE history. Because he killed himself, his wife, and his children in a murder-suicide. Ooh, it's gonna be tight. Once in a while on a brush, I'll get like just one hair that's longer than everything else, and it fucks up the entire thing. Almost like edge highlighting this. Having to paint with the side of the brush. Yeah, I have a loose hair on here somewhere. There it is. I see it. I see it. Where did I put my scissors? You're an experienced artist and painter, turn away. I'm going to do something you'll probably cringe at. I don't care. think I did that off camera, so you don't have to worry about it. But you're damn right. I will take a pair of scissors to a paintbrush if I get a stray. Chris Benoit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, he was there before I went, obviously. But yes. Right. All right. All right. That's two. That's two. Oh, we're out of music. Let me see if I can find something else Warhammer-ish. Very tragic. Very, like... Yeah, GPS is originally from, well, Quebec. I'm not entirely sure it's Montreal, but somewhere in Quebec, yes. The Chris Benoit thing... Yeah, that was fucked up. And realistically, I kind of feel like that was one of the situations where it was like, okay, we need to start taking like concussions and shit seriously because it's obviously leading to severe brain damage. Although, I mean, like with wrestling, it's not just the concussions, it's the concussions and the drug use and just really an unhealthy lifestyle. You watch any behind the ring documentary. Hmm. The discrepancy in my colors between one model to the next is pretty surprising, but I don't mind because it's kind of like, I mean, no two cows are exactly the same, you know what I mean? Not getting enough paint on my brush. And I'm worried about getting too much paint on my brush. There you go. That was fun. This is fascinating watching me paint, considering I'm probably covering up the camera 95% of the time with my hand. I don't know if I should do the gun because, like I said, I actually want to change that to like either a sickly yellow green or an orangish. So I don't think I'm going to. I think we'll just do this. We'll do the tongues. Kind of leave it at that. I do really like how the tongues are looking though when they're done. Pink was a good idea versus like a red. Red would have been the easy choice. But pink just kind of has More realism to it. More paint. So off and on through life I've watched wrestling, like back to when they were WWF. Um I fell off kind of at the end of like the Rock Stone Cold era. Like when those guys disappeared, there was just nobody there that really kept my interest. Um but I remember really losing interest before that when oh my god, why can't I remember his name right now? When Owen Hart died. I had come home. I don't know where we were. I was out with my dad. I remember coming home and we had a cable box at the time that stole pay-per-views. We came home and turned on the TV and saw that happen live. It was like the first thing we saw. And then like 20 minutes later, they're like, oh, we were going to inform you that Owen Hart has died in hospital, blah, blah, blah. Or on his way to hospital or whatever it was. Like, holy shit. I still got to do the eyes on these guys too. Which is tough because on half of them, I don't know where they are. And I figure I get a nice, like, Wraithbone dry brush in here. Just over the top at the very end. I think it's going to look fantastic. I could be wrong because I'm, like, definitely not an expert. Oh. What else do I have coming in? St. Celestine I'm still waiting for. Worst casualty was Hulk Hogan. Well, he did get himself canceled. You can't blame anybody but him. That was 100% on him. But, I mean, he's kind of had mini comebacks since then. I find it odd, and again, this isn't an era that I know anything about. But I find it wild how popular CM Punk was to how, like, hated he is now. Oh my god. And now that I'm like redoing this, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my skill is somewhat better. The amount of touch-ups I could do on these things is wild. The amount of like carapace that I've missed on these, you can't really see. The camera's not really gonna get it. But like, there's literally just white primer glowing through in some places. I don't know if I'll take the time to do it with these because this isn't an army I'm ever really going to play. But even like the little simple things, like the first stream you were here, we were talking about how much trouble I had keeping paint away from the barrel of my brush. But now look at that. Already so much better at it. I mean, I still screw up every once in a while, but again, also these brushes make all the difference in the world. Those other brushes were fucking horrible. Shit. That's one thing I definitely have to work on is my, like, finger and brush presence. The amount of times I wipe fresh paint off because I, like, absent-mindedly stick my hand somewhere it shouldn't be. Hmm. The really funny thing about this is, like, I'm not anywhere near this much of a perfectionist with anything else. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm very much an immediate gratification kind of person. Which sucks and is frustrating 99% of the time. But when you're doing something like this and you can get immediate results, pretty satisfying. But wasn't CM Punk like super popular though? And I feel like now he has this like reputation, earned or not, I don't know, of being like a locker room cancer kind of thing. This guy doesn't even have a tongue sticking out, so look at that. So I think we're done with the pink stage. What do we do with the rest of it now? I'm trying to figure out what I should do with the rest. We gotta let those tongues dry and the other parts before we do anything to them. I would like to get them all oiled up tonight. So I at least have like a handful of them all sitting at roughly the same stage. So... I suppose we can do the flesh on these two. Ooh. But first I'm going to stand up and stretch my legs. Do you have any ideas on what you're going to do with your bases for your walkers. Those would be cool if you could somehow figure out like a like cracking through concrete or cracking through tile kind of situation for them. Oh wait, this guy was hiding. So we do have one more tongue to do. I already put that brush away, damn it. That's alright. Oh, you know what? Let's see if I can fix this guy here. I really don't like how this turned out. So with this right here, I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me get my knife out as a pointer. Right here where his legs, there's supposed to be like 3 legs sitting out right here. But this mold, it's all just one large plastic piece. Like, it looks horrible. I don't know if I can cut it out. I wouldn't trust myself, really. I've got it really badly painted, basically. But again, like, this army is no real focus for me. So I'll be happy to get them done. And looking... like, this is the most table-ready army I'm going to make. You know what I mean? This is just like, these guys can go out, you can play a game, you're done. But I'm not, like, I'm not going to put in the same amount of effort I put into, like, the Space Marine. Certainly going to put more effort into my orcs. And I'm going to put the most effort into the sisters when I finally get to them. But the orcs... you see... this is my first attempt at airbrushing. It's so fucking shiny. But again, that's the airbrush paint I have. And it's that really cheap paint. The coating is alright. It's pretty uneven, I'll be honest. Actually, no. Now that I look at it, it's not that bad. But I don't like the shine. Although... when I paint over the details, those will be matte. So if they have shiny skin, I have no problem with that. This is going to be interesting. This... Stig, for once, I'm going to do what you do. And I'm just going to paint this guy from beginning to end. And I'm going to see how he looks. Because at the end of it, if it's just his, like, shiny orc fungus skin, I might actually dig that. Yeah, okay. That's just, I get on side tangents, by the way. If you're new to my streams, if you've never been here before. Side tangents like crazy. Lamin medium? So you're using, what did you say, 50-50 water and isopropyl alcohol? Which is something I could easily concoct. That would be no problem. So, I'm going to leave this guy. This guy's annoying me right now. I will fix that later. That Ripper Swarm that I don't care about. Where's my other... get these guys out. Oh, there. It's right there. I need a paint rack. Whoa! I also need to not punch the camera. And that's like a nice instant dry kind of situation. I'll give that a shot. Okay, this guy can go in the timeout zone here. Alright. So far what I've been doing for the skin on these guys, and it's absolutely nothing spectacular. And for this I will use one of the brushes that I said I hate. Very specifically, because I can just be rough with it and I don't care. But I've been doing roughly 3 to 2 with the Magos Purple and the Gilliman Flesh, which I still don't believe that this is Gilliman Flesh, but... something to scoop these out with. Oh, don't put it in the white! Don't put it in the white! And so you can tell that my wet palette is just the lid of a Tupperware container. But I'm going to tell you what, it works really well. Hey. You know, essentially what I've done is I've just created like a wash. That's basically all I'm going to do. This guy is so... The primer on this is so thick. Oh my lord. Blah, 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 blah. ISO helps to thin out the water, making it dry slower. Water making it dry slower. Drying on the tip, you need more water. If it's not drying on the model, you need less water. Fair enough. Just finished hard coating, my dude. Oh, decals are down. Nice. Decals. Nice. Drop it in the Discord. Let's see it. I'm actually kind of upset that, like, the starter kit for, like, this Tyranid versus Space Marine starter kit didn't come with any transfers. Like, that's a lot of BS. I mean, I get that you wouldn't need them for the Tyranids. But come on. You gave me 5 Space Marines. One of them is a captain. I don't get any rank insignias or anything? This is where someone with experience would come on my channel and be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'd be like, I don't know. Teaching myself, I guess. I mean, literally, this entire project so far has been guessing. I mean, yes, I've watched a ton of tutorials on YouTube and whatever, but... Man, I coated the primer on this thing. It's brutal. What was I doing? The decals I will worry about a lot with the sisters. I also don't like that, like... It's not that I don't like it. I don't want to put anything on that, like, ties me to a legion. If that makes sense. I also don't want to have to follow a paint structure that's laid out for me for a legion. Like with the orcs, there's a band of orcs called the Goths. And I am 100% going to make the Goths with Detroit Lions colors. In honor of the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, ex-Los Angeles Ram, Jared Goff. That shit is just funny to me. This dried out so quickly. And I also, with my sisters, I'm trying to figure out a way to essentially make them the Los Angeles Rams. I know that sounds silly, but stick with me here. Because they are Los Angeles, so I will call them the Lost Angels. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get Ram in there. Latin for Ram was Ares. So the Lost Angels of Ares. But then that's heretical, right? Unless I say Ares is a planet. Ares is a planet. It's a constellation anyway. And I don't really know Latin, so if I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me. Because I assume that's where a lot of the Warhammer naming conventions come. No, because it's like actually like I'll make like a full storyline. Is this the brush I was using? I am 100% want to start like the next series of models I do. I might paint them before I put them together. Or do the whole thing where people are like, a lot of people say don't put the arms on. That is like the most valuable technique I saw in a video so far. Like, if it's too deep, just touch your brush to it again. It'll suck it up. And I do that so much now. Such a fantastic tip. Uh, those. So I am definitely going to get some of those in my army. Redemptors. Is that what they're called? I can't remember. No, something engines. I'm going to get some arcoflagellants. They're very Hellraiser-esque. Like I actually, with that new recruit army builder, I pretty much have my army built. Whether or not it's in any way worthy of like table success, unlikely. But I have a 1,000 point army. That's the important thing. I could go to my local game shop and play a casual game. And be roasted for all my bad team building decisions. Wet palette, not as handy with like washes, I've noticed. Washes and contrast. It doesn't really seem to keep them alive much longer. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it also waters them down. I'm like, well. I know it looks like I'm making a mess, but what I'm actually doing is making it up as I go along. I'm totally okay with this contrast getting into the deeper holes, but I also really want my Nuln oil to do most of that work. I'm also kind of starting to get to a point with a lot of them where it's like, I can see that that part right there, that impossible to reach part, isn't painted, but I'm not going to stress about it because you're not going to see it on the game board, you know what I mean? Very few people are going to like pick these up and give them the once over. I mean, that's mostly what my wet palette is. It's just because I have it here. Pretty much the only reason I'm using it right now. And again, I wouldn't say that I have like an amazing technique or anything with this guy. With these guys, with the termagants. As much as I'm just slathering on a mix of two contrasts. So it doesn't really matter all that much. To me, how watered down they are, as long as some of the pigment sticks. That's all I'm looking for. Is that since day one, you were here first stream, all I'm looking for is like that sickly pink color. And I mean, for the most part, I'm actually kind of surprised how uniform they are. I would have figured that I had to fuck this up long ago. So Zenithal is definitely a technique I want to give a shot at. I haven't decided with what yet, though. I might do it with some of the orcs. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to finish this guy, and this is the last guy. Just want to finish it. Nope, I'm gonna have to make another mix. But yeah, I definitely am gonna like Zenithal if I get the hang of it. Like if I'm in any way competent with it, because I will like using that kind of the light. With the orcs, I would like to almost tri-layer their skin. Like I'd like them to be that a nice, almost dark green underneath, but get to a point where I can get some nice lighter greens, maybe even some yellows kind of shining through. For a while, I wanted to go multicolored. Like I would like to do some green or orange skin orcs and stuff like that, but apparently it's not canon. And I know I shouldn't care all that much, but like if your orcs are basically essentially what they say in like canon is that like the orcs would, if you were a green orc, you'd essentially not be killed at birth because you don't really grow, you're not birthed. Yeah, I know I'm making a mess. I know. You know what? Let's not waste what's on this brush. Okay. Okie dokie. Kind of feel like my cat is scratching at my door. Oh my god, look how badly I messed this up. Music almost went Terminator for a little bit. Did you hear that? Sounded like it. Also, if you can hear me taking deep breaths, I apologize. I'm not trying to do AMSR or anything. I'm just concentrating. Do. Metallics Edithal? Yes. I also heard like you really, I mean, I'm sure they make airbrush metallics, but I was watching a guy, he's like, he just won't use them. Because they're infamous for just gumming up your airbrush. But again, all opinion. It's all opinion and preference. And I have no experience to speak of, so can't really say. The thing that kind of sucks about these Termagant models is that on one side, the eyes are like absolutely obvious. You can see them, you know where they are. And then on the other side, it's a guessing game. It's so weird. Like, it's definitely an issue with the model itself. Why is my food not here yet? That's so weird. Huh. Trying to find the best angle to get at this arm, and I just can't. And as much as I was saying I would ignore, like, unpainted parts, that's a little too much unpainted. I think we got it. I think we got it. We got it, and then I discovered that the arm on the opposite side is also unpainted. Man, if the delivery man is painting Warhammers, I will invite him in. We'll just have a Warhammer party. I will definitely build my Exorcist on camera. That'll be so much fun. Saint Celestine is going to be... I'm sure fun, but also, like, that looks like such a detailed and delicate model. I'm very afraid to break it. I really do have to go over the rules a little more, though. Because there's, like, a number of really cool named Sisters characters, and I think you're only allowed one on the board at any given time. That's it. We're done. We are done. Go find my cat and check on my food. Celestine's like 22 colors. Yeah, yeah. It's a good question. It's New Year's Day. Jess Zun is, as far as I remember, fair, like on the younger side. So entirely possible. Out nursing a hangover. Right, so we'll take a good look at this guy. Now he's still wet, so he'll pale up a bit. And again, I really do think when I do that Wraithbone dry coat, I think it's going to do A world of wonder. I still got to do the pink highlights. I still got to do a null oil bath. And then figure out where the eyes are. There's also these little holes. I don't know if you can see them, but like right under the carapace there. And there's a whole bunch in the tail too. Those are all apparently like breathing holes. So I also need to black those out. But the null oil might take care of it. Oh, and then I want to do the detailing on the gun. So. I mean, I very specifically don't drink more than one drink anymore because hangovers. The last major hangover I had, I thought I was going to die. And then once you get to the age where like that happens, it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That's it, I think. Good stream. I'm going to go check out my cat and my food. And then I'm working nights tomorrow and the day after, I think. Oh, my schedule is really screwed up this week, actually. So I can't even say when I'll be on next. But hopefully soon. Thursday's a good possibility. But again, just watch the Discord and we'll have it all figured out there. And that's it. Have a good night. And enjoy your hammering wars. And I'll see you in the Discord. And thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man.